Okay, so I think, Connie, that you can start now. Please.
Okay. Also, thank you for the invitation and for the possibility to present Transform in such wonderful way. I hope it will be a wonderful way. My name is Connie Hildebrandt. My mother organization is the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, but since 2020, I'm the co-president of Transform Europe together with Marga Ferré from the Izquierda Unida. And I'm very happy that I try to share my presentation about Transform. Oh, I can't do it, I have seen. I can't share my presentation. It's deactivated.
Now it should work.
Let's try. Ah.
I changed the option.
Okay. Let go. So.
Yes, now we can see it. So if you start the presentation mode, so
I hope this. Also, what I give you is a kind of introduction. What is Transform? I don't know how long I will speak. Also, but if you have some question, we are a small group, so you can give me your question. If not, so I will speak the whole time, more or less 30 minutes. Also about Transform, the presentation, and that is the first thing. We are a network. We are an actor of political education, and we are also a left-wing think tank and the foundation of the European Left Party. That means also we are depends. I will speak about later about this topic, the foundation of the European Left Party. What is Transform? Transform is a network of 38 European organizations from 22 countries. We are active in the field of political education, think tank. We are the foundation and the cooperative project of independent, non-profit organizations, institutions, foundations, individual interns to use the work in contribution to peaceful relations among people and transformation of the present world in the sense of another world will be possible. The financial basis is we get the money from the European Parliament, and this depends of the electoral result of the left-wing parties. That means it depends of the member of the left group in the European Parliament. And it depends how many members of the left group are willing to signature for the European Left Party, because under this way we get money from the European Parliament. In this moment, we have 28 signatures from 37 members of the left group. That means not all members are really interested in to signature for the European Left Party, and in this sense also for Transform. That depends of the self-understanding of the parties in the European Parliament. For example, the PDB party is not, until this time, is not in the situation that they want to support the European Party itself as such. And so we don't have the possibility to get the money of them. Of course, we looking for cooperation to some left-wing organizations. And that is another point, that we have the conditions under which we get the money from the European Parliament. That means for us, is it forbidden to cooperate with left-wing parties on the national level. It is possible to find ways for cooperation with the European Left Party, but also in this moment, we have to make everything clear. What is a part of the European Left Party and what is a part of Transform? But it is completely forbidden for us to support national parties. And that means also in the times of the European or national elections, is it forbidden for us to organize electoral campaigning or events in the way of supporting left-wing parties. In this time, we have 10 European foundations and also the 10 European parties. And that means we also all together controlled by the European institution. That means DG Fins, that is the finance institution of the European Parliament, and the authorities, that is not our title, is their title, that is a compliance control organization of the European Parliament. And we had last week a meeting with them, and they are really strict and informed us when that we have, for example, 3 months before the national elections and also the European elections next year, nothing to organize in the sense of campaigning. But I wanted to give you one challenge for the European left in next year, also on the table. We have in this moment 37 members in the left group, also from the radical left-wing parties. The prognosis for next year could be 46. That is a little bit stronger, and it could be helpful also to improve the budget for Transform. The problem, if you see the European skeptical group, they have in this time 66 seats in the European Parliament and will get over 80s. And the far-right parties in this time, they have in their fraction 60 members, and they will get 92 members. That is the prognosis. That means, and that is what I wanted to mention in this moment, the challenge for the left, that the dynamic in this moment is in Europe, in whole Europe, by the far-right party. And that means we have to be really effective with the money what we get, and to looking for and to improve the left as a whole in a better ways. What was the starting point of Transform? Also, the starting point was in 2003, more or less 2004, 2003. And under the trees of the World Social Forum in Porto Alegre. And this forum in Porto Alegre, under the title Another World is Possible, was really important for us, because it was the first time after the collapse of the state socialism that also the parties could see another possibility, another alternatives are possible. And that means also to better understand the role of the social movements in this case. And the World Social Forum in this was forbidden to play as political parties a concrete role. And that means the social movements organized a very big event with a lot of influence in Latin America, but also in Europe, so that we get 1 year later after the World Social Forum, also in Florence in 2002, the European Social Forum. And connected with this was a new understanding. We have to find ways for self-organizing our left intellectuals independent of the parties, but of course connected with the parties. And so came the idea to build a European network of political thinkers, of political networks, of political education, and to improve this cooperation on the transnational field. And so came the idea to build Transform. Maybe some of them, I'm not sure that you know this, guys. Also that is a founding generation. I start with a woman here, Elisabeth Gautier. She was very important. She came from Espace Marx, from the Communist Party of Espace Marx. And she was also involved in the World Social Forum. The same Walter Bayer, he was the leader of the Communist Party in Austria. And in this time also one of the founder, he was also the founder generation of the European Left Party in this time. I come to Haris Golemis, and Haris Golemis was the director of the Nikos Poulantzas Society or Institute. And he also was involved in the World Social Forum process, and he understood the new understanding of relations between parties and social movements. That was, of course, a common understanding of all of them. Micha Brie, he was the leader, one of the first leader of the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, and he came from the PDS party and from the State Socialist Party. And so and was always analyzing what was the failure of the socialism, of the state socialism in the time. And in the first generation, more or less, we were looking for, and that was important, You see Elisabeth, you see Harris, you see Walter Bayer, you see also, and that is in the background, is a second generation, Jiří Malek from Czech. You see also Roberto Morea from Italy and Rurik Holm from Scandinavian, and myself. I was also in this part, in this time involved. Important is, and that is a general understanding of Transform. Of course, the founding generation came together, and in the enlargement process was it very important for us also to have people from the Scandinavian countries between us, and also from the CE country. And especially the CE country are very important, not only by connected with the history, also because the situation after the collapse of the state socialism was complete. This complete change was a complete challenge also for the left-wing parties, especially for the former communist parties. What is the member organization network of Transform today? 38 organizations, and you see the broad landscape. You see more or less we are presented in all parts of Europe. In some countries we have 2 organizations. In some countries we have only 1. In other countries we have 3 or more organizations. It depends of the political landscape, also depends of the fragmentation of the national political field between the left-wing parties. But I think, and that is a very, very, very important part of Transform. We have between us different size of organizations. The biggest one is the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation. But in our members meeting, also our highest level of common ground, on this level, every organization have one voice. And that is important, to have the equal voice for every organization. And between the organization, we see a lot of differences, independent of the size. It is also the question of the history. It's a question of the connection with parties or without parties. It is a question of political orientation within the broader family of left-wing parties in Europe. That means, of course, we have communist, also traditional communist parties between us. We have another kind of communist, more or less reform communist party between us, left-wing parties, also not the parties, of course, the organization between us. So that means also in Transform, not only in the landscape of the political parties, we see a big diversity of left-wing understanding concerning the history, concerning the current situation, concerning the orientation, and the looking for the heritage and so on. And I think the best thing of Transform is that we can stay together with the knowledge of the differences, but with the common ground of common understanding. And that is a treasure, I would say. It's very, very high level of common agreement. So when we stay together, it is not the last one. The last one was in Athens, but the quality of the picture was not so nice, and so I was looking for another one. But you see a lot of famous people. I don't see Tony in this picture. I was not sure. Yuka, I can see.
I am here, there, in a just middle to left.
Yeah. I see you. Yeah, next to Jan. Also a lot of these guys, also they are staying for a longer time together, and so you can see also a big group. And in Athens, it was also important to have also Claxo with us, also the Latin American network for political scientific members. And so we stay strong together, not only on the picture, that means also mostly of us are friends or comrades. So what does it mean? Also the diversity, I spoke about this. For example, one of the oldest is Socialism. It's a magazine, and this magazine started in the beginning of the 1970. But we see some organization, for example, Nikos Poulantzas Institute was starting at the end of the 90s. We see Espas Marx, it was in the end of the 80s. Rosa Luxemburg Foundation was in the beginning of the 90s after the collapse. And your organization was in the 19, I hope it's correct, 86. And Napshots, for example, it was in 2016. That means we have a complete mix of different foundations between us. You see in the members, you see the observers. It is also important to work with them together and also with left-wing magazines. And it is very important also to have media cooperation, and of course also that is very friends for us. That means the Alter Summit, that means the European Left Party, and that means the left group in the European Parliament and so on. And all this, when we speak about transform, that is the network of transform. Only to see the headquarter is not enough, because the real value of transform is such a big network. What is the structure of transform? Transform is a member organization. That means the General Assembly is the sovereign, and that means the sovereign elects the board every 2 years, and the board elected is a political cooperation. And we are working in the consensus-oriented manner. That means we are looking for that more or less every region is presented. The bigger and the smaller organizations are presented. And also the CE countries, that is very important, because in the past was it not so easy to also to have the CE member on board, especially the new organizations. And I think it was a wonderful idea after the coordinator of Walter Bayer as the coordinator of Transform to build a collective leadership, because nobody was able to make in the same manner like Walter Bayer. And so is it good to have really 2 chairpersons, also 2 co-presidents. I'm one of them, and next to me, Marga Ferré, with the background of the Communist Party of Spain and is the Izquierda Unida. And also the vice president, that means also Danai Kotsida from the Nikos Poulantzas Institute from Greece, and from Espas Marx, Jan Lelan. The General Assembly has also to decide the framework of the data for the budget. That means how many money we get for staff, for the personnel cost, for the infrastructure, that is more or less fixed, and also for the project. And the project, that means core project of transform, for example, transformative transformation, and the left-wing strategy, and the project with the applications of our member organizations. So, and they decides also the call for the project of Transform for the coming years. That means also we prepare as a board of Transform a call. What should be the content? What should be the importance for the next year? And then we get the call to the member organizations, and the member organizations can make the applications. And then we have to decide as a board the last final version of the applications of the concrete project structure for next year. We have in this year, and that is not new, it's the same as every year, we have the problem that we get a lot of really good applications, and we don't have so much money. That means we have to looking for synergies and bridges. And of course, we have also to cut some proposals. Very important for the proposals, for the project proposals, is that they are European-oriented. That is a precondition. That was also the words of the authorities, what we have heard last week in Brussels. Also the European dimension and the possibility of cooperation with other member organizations, that is very important. And the ownership of Transform has to be in every part of the project visible. So we try to realize and also to improve our work. Sometimes it's not so easy, but we will do it. And our headquarters is in Vienna. Maybe you know this. If you have the possibility to come to Vienna, please come. it is very, also our guys are really interested in to have meetings concrete also with our member organizations, with our friends and comrades from the parties. Also they are complete open, and if you give them enough time for preparing something, they want to do it for you. So I come, what does it mean concrete? The member of Transform, maybe you know some of them, also you have seen some of them, of course, in the European events. Jiří was, for example, presenting also in the European Forum. Also Yuka was there, Roberto Musacchio, I'm not sure. And we have also in the board, also from the different regions and different organizations with the different topics or member of the board. And you see the co-presidents and the vice presidents. And I think we have also in the board and also in the political coordination. In some times, in some to some topics or to some procedure, different opinions, and that is normal. And for me, is it very good to know that we can discuss in a very friendly way the concrete differences and to looking for what could be a compromise, what could be the best way for Transform, in which way we have to go forward. And so it's sometimes we are staying complementary to each other, and that is good that we have such mix also in the political coordination and also in the board. Most important, of course, also if you don't have the facilitator of Transform, we wouldn't be able to realize our project. I will start. If she wouldn't participate in this meeting, she doesn't like it, that I present her at first. That is Barbara Steiner. She is the director of Transform. Toni, you know her. She is not happy if she's staying in front of us, but she is really this person. They bring everything in the very friendly and professional way together. Also, she is really important for Transform. Of course, the other also. Katerina Anastasio, for example, she works to migration and global strategy, and she is also responsibility for the Future Factory. We started this project this year in Italy, and we will continue in September in Belgrade, the Future Factory of Transform. That is our Angelina. I'm sure you have seen her in the Summer University or some other places. Angelina is responsible for the Left Strategy project, and in this moment she is also preparing the monitoring of the European election in next year. What I try to do is I give you the name of the facilitators and some projects that you have a better understanding in which way we are going forward. Yanis Golemis, I gave a picture before. He is a chief editor of the Transform yearbook, the most important things, and not to see for me in this moment, but I hope you can see is Milena. She is not only the treasurer, she is most important concerning our authority, no, not our authorities, concerning all regulations and control. She is the best educated person in Transform with all this. And we have a lot of regulations, we get a lot of control the whole year, more or less. We have controlling processes, and she is so professional that we are happy that she is staying with us. Stefica is responsible for the newsletter and also for the website. We changed the website in this year. It was very difficult also for her. If you have some improvements or some comments or some proposals or idea, please contact her directly. She is very open to looking for what could be improved for Transform for our website. Roland is our man in Brussels, and he is responsible for the productive transformation. She is also responsible for the co-op process. And you see, also in the States, you have seen the difficulties for the governments to mention something, to handling something in a good way concerning the climate crisis. And he is also looking for the resilience and recovery funds. That means in next year, he will make another study about what is going on in this field, what is the consequences of the war for the economy, and the possibility concerning the social ecological transformation. Roberto is staying in Italy, and he is also the facilitator for the topic of the comments and for some other project. We will celebrate. That means we cannot celebrate, but we have to looking for in which way we can support it, not directly, of course, not with money of Transform. We have in the next year 20 years of the European Left Party, and if you can support him directly, also for us is it forbidden to make some possibilities, but maybe for you. Tatiana Moteo, she is always participating also in the Summer University and also in the European Forum. I'm not sure that she was in the last Social European Forum. She is responsible also for the 100 Shades of the Periphery. Maybe you have heard the study, something about that. And we together organizing a tender. It is on the website of Transform concerning the financialization of the elderly care. That means this topic will be very important also for the next year, and we hope that we can finish the study before we have the elections. You see, the topics what we organizing is social ecological transformation, alternatives, democracy and state. That was the topic for the yearbook in this year. The European Union and policy is also connected with the topics of Roland. Theory and history is partly connected with Roberto. And the Marxist Christian dialogue is also connected with Angelina and myself and Walter Bayer. And of course, always the fight against the far right. And so I continue with this. What we are supporting is, for example, and we will have it in April next year, 19 and from 19 to 21 of April 24, the No Passerang conference in Lisbon. Also if you want to come to this conference, would be great to support us with your presentation or participation. And so we're looking for what we can do. Very important is also the study about the far right in the European Parliament. And that is important that we could give them, also give our friends also the possibility to looking for very precisely what they are doing there, what they are mentioned in the public media and what they are doing really. Another part is left strategy. I spoke about this part with Angelina, and she organized, for example, the study who the voters for the left. And especially in the time of Corona, we had a lot of webinars concerning left-wing strategy. You can find all this on the website of Transform. And I think that gives us a bigger view, broader view. What does it mean when we are speaking about European left? So here you see our cooperation. That is clear. You know this. We cooperate with the European Left Party. It's funny. You see Marga Ferré, the co-president. You see Angelina, and you see Dagmar Svendova. Dagmar Svendova, she was in the past, maybe some of them of you know this. She was a facilitator of Transform, but we get our best to the European Left Party. She is in these days the assistant of Walter Bayer. And he is very happy that she can work together with her, and we are very happy that we cooperate with her. So what we are also doing, summer universities, some of you were there. Also more or less all summer universities from the European Left Party is also supported by Transform. And what we are trying there is to present our studies, for example, the 100 Shades, but also to give our inputs or to take the moderation and everything like that. Also we're looking for that, and that is a wish from our side, to improve this university in the sense of to be a real university, a political university for left-wing alternative thinking. That is what we want to do. The same, more or less, a little bit in other ways. On the European Forum, you see Roland and Marga on these pictures, and also the stands of Transform. Some of them of you have seen this in the forum. I think very important is, but it is, I would say we are on the way. The title of this forum is the Forum of the Progressive Left, and that means also to include people from the Greens and also from the Social Democratic Party. But when we really see what is the content in the programs, and we see only in 2 workshops we have the Social Democrats and the Greens in this forum. The new step in this way was in the last forum. Also one workshop was organized by themselves, by the Social Democratic, and that was the role of the state. And another one was energy transition. It was organized by the European Green Foundation. To the Greens, I want to mention, especially with my German background, only one comment. It is very important that the Greens are really European Greens. It's not the fraction of the Greens is dominated by the German Greens, but the European Greens, more left wings, and they are more open also for the cooperation between European Greens and Transform. And similar, is it not the same? Is it also by the Social Democrats and socialist guy, also people from the Socialist Foundation? They are also interested in cooperation between Transform, because they know if they want to continue, for example, to demand the social agenda for Europe, in this moment they need also the voice and also the power from the radical left-wing parties, and so they are open in this field also. Of course, we know a lot of differences, but what we have to do, so we have to looking for in which parts is a cooperation possible, in other not, but in this parts, if it is possible, for example, to improve the question of the social Europe, in this we should use this possibility. So I come back to ourselves, I come to the yearbook, and we are working for the next yearbook, and the next yearbook will be under the title After the War, and we will change the editing house we have until today, the Merlin editing house, and we will change to Jacobin, because also we have the hope that we can more bring our books in the broader left. That is our own studies. E-dossier, we have a lot of e-dossiers, also a lot, maybe not so much, but also very important. And I see it's the same. I forgot to change. I hope it's not a problem. I sent you the other one without the double. You see it's a double here, but I have in the last version changed it, but I opened the older one. So is not a problem, because the resilience and recovery funds, we have also a study of that, and we will continue also the preparation of the European elections with the e-dossier, and of course also the result of the European elections, and we will see what is coming in the next year. I spoke about the study 100 Shades of the Periphery. I will mention it concerning the problem in the argumentation of the left wing. We are speaking always about the polarization between the North and the South. And in this study, and that is important for us, it was a 2-year study. And this we were looking for different parts of Europe, include also the CE region. And not only to see what is going on in the south of Europe, also looking for what is going on in the Middle East Europe and also in the southeast of Europe. And this study, we will organize an update in 25, also 5 years after the first edition, and then we will see what was, for example, the influence of the Ukraine war, of the developing of the peripheries in Europe. A new one is we have a podcast. That is a podcast concerning the radical left parties in preparation, and here he speaks in the first episode is speaking Raul Gomez and Luis Ramiro, 2 political scientists and the experts concerning left-wing parties. that our videos, and the new thing was the last 2 years we organized a common conference with under the title Socialism in Our Time. Next year we don't have a conference, but in year 25 we will organize the next conference connected with Jacobin Germany, and Jacobin is really interested in to continue the cooperation with Transform. So, what is the last information from my side? Then I'm finished. I think the best thing between us is we are friends. And that is good. Sometimes is it not so easy because, you know, if you are friends, it's not so easy to criticize yourself. But the fundamental, the trust between us, the knowledge over years, all this is very helpful to work together. And so I'm very happy. And for me, is it really a good thing. I would say the best thing what could happen for my life to work so much time for Transform Europe, because all this member what you see, all these people what you can see, really friendly with different possibilities, different capabilities, but so friendly, so in solidarity, and that I would say our network, and it's a network of solidarity between ourselves, and that is the best what could happen for us. Many things.
Okay, thank you, Connie. It was nice to hear about this side of Transform, because way too often people ask, what is Transform? When I go to meetings or take a part delegation, we don't know what is Transform, and now we hear about something. So, Jiri, can you give the floor to the people if they are asking in the office?
Yeah, sure. So thank you from me also, Connie. It was very nice and interesting presentation, and also for a person that knows something about Transform, there was some new information too, and it was nice to hear about the history of Transform, that what was the situation when it was formed and what was the aim and goal of this organization. And the cooperation with European Left and its member parties and different organizations in Europe is very crucial for leftist movement in Europe and also globally. So does anybody have questions or comments that we want to share? Tiina.
Yes, first I would like to thank to Connie now. Thank you for this presentation. It was very clear, and as Jiri said, we had a very good information about how the Transform is formed, what it does, and what are the aims of the political work of Transform. We have here also people now who are not have ever heard about Transform. I think after this presentation, they understand what kind of organization it is. And in Finland, especially, we need cooperation with Transform, because in Finland, we are such a small country and we don't have big resources on studies, the Marxist studies. It's just for the minor groups here in Finland who are actually interested to do Marxist analysis and trying to figure out what's going on in the European politics and things like that. And so being working together with the Transform for us is very important, so that we can get this kind of information. And here in Finland, in DSL, Democratic Civic Association, we have been talking about that we are willing to have a bigger role also in Transform in future. and we are trying to prepare some texts which could be also put in English in the web page and the blog of the Transform, so that we are, of course, all the time looking, reading the website and looking for information and everything which could be interesting for us, and we are using that resource, but we also want to be an active part of this kind of dialogue between the organizations. So I hope that I will be able to present some materials also in the beginning of the next year. Mili, who also works with the civic organization, is now actually has sent me a text about the care sector and the politics, including the care sector, what has happened in Finland, and how she sees the connections with the European movements and changes in the politics and such. So I hope that I will be able to have that text ready, and so I can and you can see it yourself. But I would like to ask whether you have any project on analyzing the splits in the European left parties at the moment, because I think everybody here knows about what happened with Linke, the split, and now we have had the same kind, more or less, split in Syriza also. And I think that this is something, a phenomenon which we should analyze, because we know what happens in the left when we start splitting. It never ends. So maybe this time we could avoid that kind of path and do something to avoid the splits, because what we most need at the times as hard as this one is work together, have broader, stronger, unite the forces and things like that, and we just can't afford to split. We have to work together. So I would like to know if you have any kind of projects on analyzing this situation.
You want to answer? Yeah.
Yeah, then I answer directly, then it's easier maybe also for the others to make some question. Also at first, when we have the concrete project list, also with all project, also we have to change a little bit our methodology. That means for every project we have to make a contract. That means we can only make contract also if it is clear that we have the money for that project. In this moment, we have more or less 60,000 too much. That means we have to cut and to looking for in which way we can bring the project together. And of course, we try to find solidarity ways, but sometimes it's not so easy. So when we have it, then I would make a list, also together with my comrades from the foundation, also from Transform, a list with the concrete topics and concerning, for example, theory. Which project we have for theory, Marxist, Lenin. We have some, for example, from the Catalan organization, a proposal for a Lenin conference next year in Spain, in Barcelona. And that means, also I would looking for content-wise, which projects staying together, and then I can send you this overview with the contact name. And in this moment, for example, you can looking for CMS in Sweden is also thinking about theoretical topics, and also the Catalan Foundation. And I'm not sure, I think the first one is also. In this moment, would it be for you, for example, easier to contact directly the organizations and ask them when is it, how I can participate, in which way I can participate, and also ask for the initiatives of Transform? You can also ask for money, for traveling money. Is it possible for one person, only one organization, one person, to participate in the meetings of the others? But I think such kind of possibility we have. Also we make such kind of overview. That is more or less easy. concerning the car, also the care question, also the care sector. We were thinking, that means concrete, Tatiana Monteiro from Porto. She works to the social question of Europe, and she is also the facilitator for the elderly care. And together with Stefica, she is a web designer, also web reduction, responsible for the newsletter, but also for the website, to looking for that we are try to in March or April, to make the topic to social Europe. And in this moment, would it be better to implement this wonderful article? You can send us a first draft, and then we're looking for maybe what we can improve or to make stronger or whatever. And then we integrate this part in the newsletter concerning this topic, social Europe. What is the possibility? What is the reality in this time, and so on. Yeah, and in this moment you get a very good place for this article. Better also to put it only on the website. Also you get more importance for this article. And I would be very happy to have it, because I'm really interested in to make this topic, social question in Europe, stronger, especially concerning the care sector. Also you have an open door for me, yeah?
Nice.
So the last point, it's very, very difficult. Also the consequences is also directly connected with transform. Because also Die Linke, in both cases, also we're looking for to make a study about the splitting processes. It's not really new one, but in these countries is it new. Also we have it in the past with the Italian landscape. Not so nice, we know this. And Die Linke, it's terrible. Also I made a comment, maybe you have could read it, as an article about the party congress in Germany. The congress was good, but for me it's a real open question, is it enough to stay with this part what we could catch in this moment, to come, also to catch the threshold from 5%. That is a complete open question. And complete open question is, what is a success or not success? We don't know. From the new party with Sarah Wagenknecht. It could be, and some of the indicator will be the European elections, and especially the results of not the European elections, the elections in the region on the same day. And then we will see what does it mean also for the Wagenknecht party and for Die Linke, and what does it mean for the foundation. For the foundation has a split, Rosa Luxemburg Foundation has a direct split, really strong consequences until today, because in this moment we don't have a fraction in the Bundestag. And the money of the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation is connected with the fraction in the Bundestag. So we have in 25 the next elections, but that means also the problem is, the open question is the Radical Left Party able to come in the Bundestag, to present itself in the Bundestag or not? If not, could it be a big problem also for the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation? And that is also a problem for Transform, because we need 6% of the budget, of the whole budget, we need as own resources. And that means we have to improve, so for all organizations, member organizations, independent of the size, to improve the own resources, as a basic, financial basic of Transform. That is a pre-task or pre-condition to continue the work of Transform. Also it has directly consequences and is very difficult. More or less, Syriza is also a problem for us. Politically, of course, that means also for the left in Germany. And we will see, Dana Kotsida is the director of Nikos Poulantzas Institute, and we will see what will be the future. And all these things are open. And of course, we have to see what are the different reasons for such splitting processes. I would say it's not the same. Also we have complete different cases between Syriza and also between the left in Germany. In the consequence, could it be similar? But the reason for that a little bit different. Also, for example, the kind of power for the leader, for the party leader, or also the methodology, the voting for the party leaders from non-party members. It's impossible for us as Die Linke. And we are very, very high level of internal democracy elements. And I would say also it's complete in opposite to that what Syriza, what was the way of Syriza in this last period. Yes, it's a complete different ways. But we are staying more or less for similar problems to build a new party and to looking for supporting of a member in the society for such party. And that could be a problem for both of us. Is it possible to find a broader left that is strong enough, broad enough and strong enough to come and to catch the European Parliament and the national parliament, because that is the finance basis also for both organizations in Transform. Also, of course, it has always political implications, that is clear, but it has also, I'm speaking here from the point of Transform, is also connected with consequences of Transform. But I will looking for such kind of, we had also the idea to organize an internal for the member organization of Transform after the elections, what is going on. Also, what is the status? We have tomorrow the board of Transform, and in this we will discuss in which way we can make visible or we can organize the discussion between Transform members and the situation in the left in our countries.
Okay, thank you, Connie. And thank you, Tina, for the questions. Does anybody else have something to ask?
Heikki.
Maybe. This also. A little bit closer. So
Okay, hello. First of all, thank you for the presentation. It was very eye-opening and very, how to say, fulfilling. And indeed, we do need this kind of international European-wide forums, particularly these times when the internationalism is in crisis, also inside the leftist movements, like we are now living the times when very few are criticizing this policy of closing the borders and building the walls. So indeed, there is not too much this kind of international arenas, and if only the parliamentary left here in Finland and in other European countries would read more these kind of Transform articles and would utilize them in their policies, the far right would be much weaker at the moment, I would say. I have particularly enjoyed reading the Transform yearbooks. They have been very, very analytical and have given very, very huge perspectives. And it was good that there was the mentioning of this web designer of the sites, or the one who is hosting these, because I've been reading these Transform articles also online, and sometimes I've been spamming different kind of groups by these like, for example, Reclaim the Ventotene manifesto and stuff like that. But these days I've seen that these articles are not available online. So I was wondering maybe to contact this person in question who is in charge of this web stuff, like if it is older articles could be also available, because they are very, very valuable and very, very rich. Thank you.
Malmi, could you send me directly the articles? What are you missing? Because we changed the website, and I had the meeting today, my jour fixe today with Stefica, and she told me, one woman, we have another facilitator, and this facilitator is looking for missing articles from the last 2 years. And if it's finished, we go to 2019, 2018, and so on. And especially the manifesto from Ventotene, I wrote down in my notebook. But if you're missing articles, please send it us directly. In this moment, we're looking for the older articles to put them again on the website. Yes, I think it's not political selection from our side. It's a technical thing that some articles we are missing, and you could help us to find which article are really important and we have to bring again on the website because they are not viable anymore. And Ventotene manifesto, we should bring itself, this manifesto on the website in preparation of the next election. Is a wonderful proposal, also that we bring it and some articles about this. I mentioned it for the next year for the European newsletter. Maybe in January we start with Ventotene, it would be great. Good idea.
Yes.
I bring you on the website.
Yes, I'm sure that Heikki can send the email about the articles that he has been thinking that would be nice to read online.
Yeah. You can also send it directly to Stefica. You could find her email address on the website. Yeah.
Yes.
And I can speak with her tomorrow. Tomorrow, today not, but tomorrow I can speak with her. And on Monday in Vienna, I will speak with her directly. Yeah. But she is complete open and not complicated person. You can do it.
That's great to hear. And I'm trying to look to this camera like Tina did.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
You can look to the wall. I know this problem.
Yes. Yes, but yes, it's better now. Yes, if anybody wants to take the floor, so it's possible. I was thinking the same question as Tina did mention earlier, that when Transform Europe has different kind of organizations and foundations and organizations that has a lot to do with civic and studies, and it's one of the strengths of movements when we have different organizations. It's the same situation here in Finland when we look at the civic organizations here. So we have a lot different organizations when we are not talking just about leftist civic organizations. And it has been also the fact that the different civic organizations here has acknowledged our expertism and information about Marxist theories and politics. So we see it also some people that don't agree with us here in Finland about politics and our theories. So they have said that it's very important that we have different kind of studies and organizations that do work with these questions. So it's the same when we talk about leftist movements and also Transform Europe. So it's one of the biggest strengths, I think so. So it was very, very nice to hear from Transform Europe when I was attending the first times to the European left activities. So it was one of the first things that I saw something when I was attending the meetings, and for example, European Forum 2019. So there was a lot information and activity of Transform Europe. So it's very great. And also here in Finland, when we have this Democratic Civic Association that does a lot cooperation, for example, with Communist Party, but not only with Communist Party, we have other communist organizations too, and different other types of organizations that has a lot to do with activism, different activism and arts and other skills. So yeah, that has been quite broad range of activity that we have been able to do here in Finland. So it's very good. Although we don't have so much resources as some other civic organizations here, but the level and the amounts of Marxist studies and active actions that we do is many say that it's quite impressive. So I think that is true.
Now I think also maybe also if you could if you are, for example, if you are interested in to hear what is going on in Germany, in the left in Europe, or in Spain, for example, yes. Also it's not a problem to us, also you organize a meeting in your group with partners also, and some of us could come as a referent for a public meeting. It is not a problem. In this moment, of course, we will come, because for us it's always good to come to our partner organizations. We are doing, also it was so stupid. Marga and me, we were elected, and in this moment came the Corona pandemic. So, and our welcome tour, we postponed the welcome tour from 2020 to 21, and in autumn from 21, they gave the same procedure as before, yes. And after 2 years, also in the third year, to start with a welcome tour, it's a little bit tricky. But also if you have the wish that somebody is coming and you are able to organize a public meeting, also let's see what we can do. Also in this moment to make a kind of lessons or whatever, yes. Also in this moment is it not so much to organize, and not a problem for us to looking for a date, and then we can see what is possible. Also for the member of the political coordination, is it easier because we have the travel cost in Transform included. So, also with a small budget, could it be, for example, possible if you want to organize something? You have to say what you want, also what is the most important topic for you, and what you want to discuss. Also, then we have to looking for in which way is it possible for us to come to you, and then we are coming.
Great.
Not tomorrow, but it's possible.
Yes.
So it's not a problem.
Yes, Heikki has a short comment.
Yeah. Just a question about next month, because there is going to be this commemoration of the murder of Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht. Yeah, if I pronounce correct. But I was wondering if there is going to be some like march or some event in Berlin next January. I would be interested, like if I could, to reserve some ticket already to Berlin to participate in the march or something like. So just interested if there is going to be some.
That we have to, also of course we have also the march, but that is a real open problem from the left. Also the march was, it's a problem of the left-wing party in Berlin. Also not only in Berlin, but also in Berlin. Also in the past was it the demonstration of the elder people and the elder people of the PDS party and then Die Linke, and more was it a demonstration of the very small radical left-wing parties and not so strong from the left. Also the party lost more or less the connection to this demonstration. Also you will see, that means that the European Left Party and also the Left Party in Germany, Die Linke, is going to the funeral and made a celebration, but is not really a part in the demonstration. That is the first, I would say, critical thing or problematic thing, whatever you want to say in this moment. It's difficult. It's difficult. And I'm not sure why or what was the reason for such developing, because it was in the first time was it our demonstration, and more was it not our demonstrations. That means a demonstration also for the majority of the members of the PDS party, and with the developing to the Die Linke and with the change to Die Linke changed also the generation. Of course, they were older and older, and it was not the same situation as before. Also, the party is not so strong involved in the demonstration, in this demonstration. In the celebration, yes, concrete in the morning there, but not in the demonstration. That is a reality. And then we have the next problem. We have every year, we have on these days or in these days a big Rosa Luxemburg conference. But this conference is also not connected with the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation. It's completely different. It's connected with the newspaper Junge Welt and with organizations around the Junge Welt and some organizations in the more radical left-wing parties as Die Linke it is. That means it's not connected with the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation. Also both more or less not. You can say it's bad, it's true, but I can't change this in this time. That means also I don't have possibilities to support something in this, also for the Transform Network, because we are not involved in this. Not as a foundation, not as a party. I can understand what is maybe we can looking for but that is not possible for next year. The Czech Kamerad, for example, from the Communist Party Böhmen and Mähren, they have the delegation every year to go to this demonstration. But for them, is it easier? They can go by train. So it's very easy for them to go by train 4 hours by train, and then they're looking for a small hotel or kind for living house for young generations, and then they get the support of party members of Die Linke, also they could find some arrangement. And if we want to do so as Transform, then we have to looking for what could be the way. But it's not so easy. The landscape in this moment is not so easy.
Yes, we understand, and thank you for your answer. Do we still have some questions or comments now? I would like to say that as we all might know, that Transform is very long-standing and trusted cooperation partner for us in Finland, for the Democratic Civic Association, of course, and also Communist Party of Finland. And we are always looking for new ways to do cooperation, and also to get Transform Europe more familiar with Finnish public. And I think that the great way to do it is that Transform Europe is a part of some of our activities, like we talk in the beginning about the No Survival Without Peace webinar, and also seminar and webinar that was held last year in Tampere and on Zoom. And it was event that collected many peace and environmental organizations from Europe and also the International Peace Bureau and many activists and organizations in Finland, and it was very great start. And we are very looking forward that with what we can do in future to continue with this project. And
Okay.
we are also very positive, thinking that Transform Europe is very natural cooperation partner with us.
Yes, of course. And also Katharina could also help you. Also Katharina Anastasio, also with this, she is responsible for the Future Factory, but also for the peace thinking. And she is always connected also with the International Peace Bureau. Also you could find an easy way to transform. It's not a problem. And also it's also possible to find a direct way to the partner organization. If you see some interesting points, please don't be shy. Go directly to the partner organizations also from Transform. So
Yes, thank you.
It's a wonderful picture in your background.
That's true. Yes, Raita wants to say something.
Well, I have one question because I'm a Lutheran pastor. What is containing this Christian Marxist dialogue against far right? What does this mean? What is the essence of it?
The essence of the Christian Marxist dialogue. It is more connected, is not so connected with the fight against the far right, that not. But it's connected with the peace question and with the social ecological question. Also what we are looking for example, also in the beginning of January, in 10th of January.
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
Yes.
I will say you what we are doing, so, but not in this moment. I'm waiting. But we have a seminar. We have a wonderful seminar with people from the Christian movement, with the Focular movement. The Focular movement is do you know the Focular movement? I only ask. No. It's a organization. It's not directly the structure of the church. It's independent of the church structure. It's a kind of movement, and the people working in different fields outside from the churches and come together in the evening, living together and organizing something together like that. So, and with them we organizing with the University of the Focular movement and workshops concerning social ecological transformation. And we have people from the radical left-wing points, also from radical left-wing parties. And from their point, what does it mean, social ecological transformation? And also from the Christian points, what they are thinking about social ecological transformation. The topic is another one. And as a topic, the terms sometimes others, but the meaning is the same. We need a social ecological transformation. And we will discuss this from different points. What we have to change to realize a kind of social ecological transformation. What kind of possibilities we are looking for. And the second one is also the peace movement, because also one of the best people for peace in this moment is this Pope. Not every Pope, but this Pope. He is looking for ways for peace, and what we are looking is also in which way we can find a dialogue concerning the peace question from the different point. And we organized in last year, and also in this year, 3 webinars concerning the question of peace. And if you like, I can send you the movie. In this moment, you can better understand in which way we are organizing our work between left wings and Christians.
Thank you. I'm very pleased.
And if you want to, you can start working with the civic, democratic civic organization and taking care of this sector. And when you want to be more active, you can be.
Yes.
You are free to do so.
Yes,
Also.
okay.
We need someone.
Yes. Okay.
Aha, okay. For this topic, okay. Let me ask, and I will know. I ask also in the as because we need young women in this dialogue.
Oh, thank you. I'm 65 years
Yes, also it's okay.
old. Soon 66. 10th of January.
Yeah, I have understand your birthday.
Not 666, but 66.
It's a good age.
Yes. It is.
So if we don't have any comments left here in our office in Malmi, so maybe I will ask if Toni has something to say if we are now closing maybe the webinar.
Yes, thank you. I don't have any more to say personally, but I would like to thank Connie and also our office in Malmi who took part this event. It was so nice to hear about this side of Transform Europe, and we need more dialogue between us, DCA and Transform.
Okay.
So this is nice event. Thank you.
Yes, this was very, very useful, and if we can have your presentation also as file, so we can put it to the material bank of Democratic Civic Association, which is myself saying it's very, very good and a large material bank. Mainly in Finnish, but there is also some material in English, and we are always trying to promote our material bank to the Finnish public, that there is material ready for using in different kind of events and projects. So there is a lot information and files about different topics of society and politics.
Okay. I will send it you maybe tomorrow morning, because also I have to looking for one slide was the same study double. Yes? I will exchange this and then I send it you.
Yes, and now we can clap.
Thank you, Cornelia. You saved the rest of my year.
Okay. I wish all of you a wonderful Christmas time.
Yes, thank you very much, and
Thank you.
see you again.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.
Dankeschön. Auf Wiedersehen.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.